Now this may surprise some of you, especially those of you in the US, but I've never played Battletoads. I always found them to be an unappealing rip-off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, so I'm coming to this 1991 NES game from Rare for the first time, and man, it sure doesn't live up to the hype. So Rare saw how popular Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was and thought they could have a slice of the fame. In the game you play as one of 3 space humanoid toad warriors from a group known as the Battletoads. It received mostly positive reviews upon release, with critics praising the graphics, although I don't know why because they're quite ugly even by NES standards. To the game's credit, there is a lot of variation of gameplay. However, it is overly difficult. I'm playing the Japanese version since that was tweaked to be more manageable, but still it isn't all that easy. My biggest gripe with the game are the beat 'em up sections. The controls are too floaty. It feels as if you're constantly walking on ice, and hitting enemies doesn't feel satisfying at all. Maybe I came to this game too late, which is why I don't understand the hype it had. But that doesn't matter because we're here to see all the ports. So let's take a look at them. We'll start off the port with the Amiga version. Upon first glance, this is a much better game. Nicer graphics by far and much better audio. Then we get to the options. In typical Amiga fashion, we can only have sound effects or music, not both. So it's music I choose. This is where the good points stop. Now, many people think I just criticize the Amiga because I don't like the machine. Not true. I give the machine a hard time because so many games on it are total shit, and this is yet another. First off, we have worse controls and collision detection than the NES original, which wasn't that good to start off with. The fact that every time you press punch and move results in a jump is annoying. Trying to pick up bombs on the stage 1 boss is also a nightmare. It's by pure chance if you manage to get one. Then there's the graphics. Yeah, they're a massive improvement over the NES, but they still look like crap. Little farty sprites, no parallax scrolling, and juddery movement. In fact, I reckon the juddery movement is the reason the hoverbike section was changed to a god-awful shoot 'em up section. Oh my, this is badly designed and plays horribly. I had to cheat with life codes to even get through it. Yep, Battletoads on the Amiga is one stinky toad that'll give you warts. Keep away. Next up is the Amiga CD32 version, and yes, you've guessed it, this is the exact same shit that was on the Amiga. No difference at all. And people wonder why the CD32 failed. Let's move back to the console ports with the Mega Drive version. This port is missing the intro that the NES and Amiga had, but it is the best version of the game so far. Full screen detailed graphics which still look kinda crap for the Mega Drive, but still the best so far. The biggest improvement comes in the control department. They are far less floaty now, but still could do with some work. What is disappointing though is the game still plays to the limits of the NES original. We still only get 2 enemies on screen at once during the fighting sections. On to the Game Gear version. This port is actually the best playing so far. Yes, it's true. The controls are tight, the feeling of hitting enemies is good, and the all-round feel is nice. I'd even say it looks pretty good too. Unfortunately, it isn't perfect. Enemies can still be rather cheap and you'll die in many unfair situations. Still, the ports are getting better. Maybe the next one will continue with this trend. Sadly not. The Master System game is very nice, but is a completely different game, as is the Game Boy game. So I'm afraid this is as good as the original Battletoads ever got. And let's take a look at all those versions of Battletoads running side by side.